Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to this extremely late edition of Living World of Darkness. Uh, it finds the new Theurge, Sam, his voice is thunder, and Anna, road rage, both suffering from insomnia for their own reasons. Sam, because he's still adjusting to US time, being from Germany, for whatever reason Anna's is. God knows she has reasons right now to have insomnia, but she can divulge herself. And so our scene starts with the young Shadow Lord and the young Theurge, the young Theurge and the young Arun coming across each other. As Anna would see Sam, he's kind of carefully pulling like leaves and moss and like other detritus off of a statue, kind of very carefully.
Anna is wearing loose black pants and a loose shirt, sort of like someone would just got out of bed and decided to take a walk, really, or some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
She stops as she sees the now another person, and slightly tilts her head. She's carrying something on her hands. It seems like a rock. A painted rock.
I'll look over. I'll say, what do you have there?
Hello there. And she
Hello.
keeps her head tilted. What are you doing?
I'm cleaning the statue.
Well, it does make sense, but at 4 in the morning?
I am from Germany, and I am not adjusted yet.
Oh, I see. Well, I think it would be easier for you to, sort of wait until you have light.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yeah. By the way, I'm Anna.
Oh. I am Sam.
And possibly that is the part where you do make that shitty formal introduction and all of that, since you're the newcomer.
She would notice, by the way, that he has a tattoo on his forearm, like right here, of a crow. Like it looks like a inky, like kind of crow tattoo on his forearm. It's very pretty. It's well done. He also has kind of a very like stormy kind of appearance to himself. He kind of has and he looks for all the world like he's probably an Octano or a Wendigo. He's like 100% pure Native American. And I'll say, for a more formal introduction, my name among the people is his voice is thunder. I am the Theurge of Grandfather Thunder.
Oh. I am in a road rage around born to the children of Pegasus under the full moon. In 2 legs. And, well, you're welcome.
Thank you. In my home sept, the sept I just come from, there are many daughters of Pegasus that come as visitors. It's the sept of the night sky in Germany, and our alpha is trying to the alpha, because now this is my sept. Yes.
Well, I came from only Black Fury sept. So, yeah, just still getting used to all, mixed thing written here. It's pretty cool so far. I think my pack sort of helps in that also, because my pack is awesome.
Oh, who do you follow?
We follow the Black Unicorn, sorry.
Oh, that is a rather formidable totem to follow.
Yeah, it's hard, but every step we take is hard. And anyway, I think in a war you have to do your best, and it's a way to watch your back and watch yourself, not to do shit around people. I think it makes sense.
I've never belonged to a pack.
I had never belonged to a pack before I came here.
And, at home, I achieved my rite of passage, and then my family decided to move back to the States shortly after. So I had to help. My father retired from Lansfield, the medical center, Lansfield. He was a surgeon. My mother, a pediatrician. They both retired this year, and so they
Oh,
decided to come back stateside. But I've grown up my entire life in Germany.
that must be hard for you. I'm from Brazil, and I pretty much decided to try something new and go somewhere I didn't knew anyone, so I could start things fresh from the start. My mom was the granddaughter from the sept, and it was not exactly pleasant to have to follow in her every step.
It's probably good that you got away then.
I'm sorry, I didn't understood.
I said it is probably good that you got away then.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I love my mom, but when you're trained since you are 5 to be a huge meat grinder, it turns a bit sore, perhaps.
I am simply having trouble understanding American culture.
Well, tell me about it. I feel like a fish outside water every day I wake up in here.
And the irony is, I am Native American by birth.
Oh, born but not raised, right? So,
I was raised my entire life in Japan. My parents moved there when I was 3 months old. They adopted me
yeah,
from birth. My mother held me fresh from my birth mother's womb. I tried to find her when I turned 18, and I did, but I didn't want to continue contact with her. It was right that she gave me up.
I see.
But in in the place I grew up in, Lansfield, the 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 village, um, the medical center is. He's trying to think of like the words in English. It's not very Americanized, you know.
I see.
Even though it is American military, and in Ramstein, Air Force Base is American, but the city is very German, and I went to German primary school and German secondary school and university, and I grew up speaking German, not American.
I I studied my whole life in schools inside the sept with other kids that were mostly kinfolk. So I never had really a lot of uh, I forgot the word, but socialization outside sept, and it's still a bit hard for me to do it. I think people find me a bit too weird. I
Well,
mean, my best friend is a rock, and she shows the pet rock she won from Annalise.
I don't have a best friend.
Well, I can introduce you to my rock. She doesn't speak much, by the way, but she's demanding. She's really demanding. You cannot hear her, but yeah.
He will he'll actually he'll kind of shift his senses a little bit, and he'll use, one second, I'm pulling up his character sheet. He's going to use spirit speech. She's had the rite of spirit awakening performed on her before by a mage, so she does have a spirit living in her.
Yeah,
And
does.
he's going to use.
But
Yes, so
I think you should actually use Spirit of Awakening because it's sleeping again. You would have to use the rate of Spirit Awakening.
I might be able to do that, but I shouldn't do a rite on Sept. That, let me see. I don't have that one. But he'll basically kind of look at the little rock, and he'll lean his finger out and kind of pet it gently, and he says, "Oh, that's good. She's sleeping."
Yes, she is. She's most of the time. Yeah, after he made me buy a huge plant for him with 3 or 4 different sorts of earth for him to sleep on, and made me actually crochet a blanket for it with specific names in it. Yeah, it's a sort of demanding rock.
You have a very active pet rock.
Yeah, it's not very active, but it seems it's hard for him to be in places that not the soil, and it has to be his warm soil, and unfortunately it seems he is not from here, so
He'll dig around in his pocket.
his
He's kind
name
of wearing
is
like a.
Squishy, by the way.
He'll kind of dig around in his pocket, and he pulls out a little spike ball and holds it out to her. And
She
it
will
kind of
look at
it kind of lifts its little head and wiggles its nose at her. He's got a hedgehog in his pocket.
She looks at it and sort of sniffs in its direction. Oh, shiny.
She's my pet.
I see, so I'm not the only one with a weird pet.
No.
Well, yeah, the animals don't like me much, so I can only have pet rocks because I kill the pet plants. They are a huge responsibility. And I think even the plants would run away if they could.
I hope I can sometime get to sleep soon. This is my second night not able to sleep.
You should get some milk with honey. My problems are a bit bigger than jet lag, so I'm not disposed to sleep so soon.
He'll tilt his head as though he is concerned about the fact that she apparently has problems.
Well, see, my mate just recently lost his son.
How horrible, I'm sorry for that.
Yeah, it was
Was it
really,
your
really. But
You said it was your mate. Was it your child?
I didn't understand the last part.
You said it was your mate. Was it your child?
No, he wasn't a child. My mate is a bit older than me, and he has an adult child, but unfortunately, ritual suicide was his ending, and
That sounds
it
horrible.
wasn't exactly. He was sort of the love of one of my pack mates, also. So it's a hard situation.
I can imagine trying to support someone who has a relative that went through that. Must be very hard.
Yeah, it is, and I guess I've spent so much time around him and trying to be there for my wall pack for different reasons, and trying to be there for my mate. And I guess I just needed a bit of fresh air and alone time for myself.
He'll kind of sit down in the grass, kind of lean his back up against the statue, put the hedgehog in his lap, and he'll say, sometimes I have found that what can vex us the most is that there's so much wrong, we don't even really know where to start to try to break it down, to let it roll off of us, you know?
She crouches at the ground, a bit animalistic actually, but almost everything she does sounds way too animalistic. Perhaps like the big pit bull cub she looks. Well, and she just sighs. I guess we we have so much trouble and so many things to think that having 5 minutes for ourselves seems something so selfish sometimes. And but it seems I cannot think straight. My pack had, you see, not her fault, but shit happens, and it seems I was the only one not affected. But trying to be to want to take care of people when all you know how to do is to punch things, it's a bit hard. It's hard job. And I didn't thought I would have so much to do in such a small time.
Such is war. We are a warrior society.
Yeah,
I'm sorry that that is affecting you.
well, it does affect us in sooner or later. I just wish I was a bit better at speaking, or I don't know, being a comfort for people. But my allspice is not exactly known for it.
Can I tell you something that
Sure, go ahead.
sometimes when there is so much chaos and so much hurt and pain, the absolute best thing that you can say is nothing. Sometimes what's needed the most is just silence and the ability for the person to find that silence so that they can reflect in peace.
Yeah, I know it. It's mostly what I do. Be there in silence, but I think that sometimes silence is not enough. Not enough.
I can understand that.
I mean, you can support people, you can be there for them, you can be a shoulder for them to cry on. But sometimes I guess people need not advice, because it would be shitty of my part trying to advise people in their own problems, but a word of comfort or a word for them to know you really care.
So, if I understand you correctly, what you are saying is that you wish that you feel limited in your ability to let the people around you know that you are caring there for them.
Yeah, I guess it's pretty much that, yes. I
That
mean, I can understand what people feel. You know, it's not hard for me to relate to their feelings, but it's not exactly. Just let me check here. It's not exactly easy for me to express myself. Perhaps it's a bit harder in English than in my own language, but I should learn how to do it.
Well, one technique is what I just did to you, actually. When you are listening to someone speak and they are expressing a frustration, if you say back to them what they have just said to you, if you say something to akin to, if I understand you, or so, if I'm clear, you feel as though your auspice limits you. That makes people understand it. It could confirms for people that you are listening to them. And
I
that's
will
how.
try to do it. Actually, it's a very good idea. She looks at him like he was so fucking smart and shit because she clearly is not. I mean, she has intelligence too. For her, it's a bit hard to be the smart one. Yeah, I'll try to do it. Thanks for the advice. I
I take my position as a Theurge very seriously, and as a child of Crow. I belong. Oh! 1, 2, 3. Do you feel that there's a void in your life? Do you feel as though, oh, commercial break over. Pentex, the company that cares. Hello.
hello. I had issues.
It's fine. We went to commercial break while you were gone. Pentex, the
Oh,
company that cares.
yeah. And
Oh, but he'll say, what was he saying? It was important actually. What he said. Oh, he says, I belong to a camp called the Children of Crow, and we make it our priority to think for a moment, to offer advice, and to see that we are available to help guide people.
well, yeah, don't take me the wrong way, but you sound a bit more stormy, at least a little less shadowy than the usual Shadow Lord.
Me?
Yes,
There are a lot.
more like the rain part and less than the dark sky part.
There are a lot of young Shadow Lords who have, especially, I don't mean this rudely, but American Shadow Lords who have lost their way and who forget what it is to serve Grandfather Thunder.
Perhaps, yes. To be fair, I've never met many as you. I know the stories of the tribes, but our views are a bit biased, as you know well. I mean, it's a bit hard to judge people other than by stories, and well, you seem like a nice person.
I can, I can give you a bit of insight to something that happened with my tribe.
Sure.
For all of time, as much as they would not like to admit it, the Garo Nation has it is affected by human society, and what happens in humanity tends to reflect and shape the course of Garo as well. The Silver Fang developed a disturbance in leadership. The monarchies became less important, and people began to rely more on democracy, and it affected the Silver Fang very deeply. And for age-old times, the Shadow Lords were the regents of the Silver Fang, and it was the place of the Shadow Lord to advise and guide the Silver Fang and to serve in the purpose of seeing that the tribe did not falter. And then the tribe did. The tribe did falter. And they began to lose their way a bit. And between one half being torn towards no longer being relevant, and then another falling to the prey of politics and it's clear he's looking for the word. I know this word in German. It's like a phrase, but I don't think it translates to English. The madness of power. You understand?
Yes.
Okay. Well, so the Shadow Lords, instead of strengthening and instead of supporting the Silverfangs and helping to guide them back to greatness, some instead decided that they were going to try to become the new leaders of the nation, and that they were going to try to. They became power thirsty, and that is a very bad trend within my tribe.
Well, so it means that you are not one trying to seize power for yourself. You want Silverfangs in power? Is that correct?
I think that that whoever is best fit for the job needs to be in power.
I see. Well, it does make sense.
And if it is a Silverfang, then done. Yeah, done. It's good. But if it's not, I don't. Some Shadow Lords are good for it, but Shadow Lords I think are best in the shadows.
Well, yes, it was actually a very educational talk, this one. It would have worked much better if I was smart enough to, make connections out of it, but really educational nonetheless.
You keep saying this, that you are not smart. Why do you think that?
Well, you see, when you are not smart, it's sort of, well, look, I know in what I am good, okay, and I'm good at fists. The brain, it's not as musculous as my fists.
But you listen?
Well, I do. When you're not as bright, it's better to listen than to talk.
That shows a great measure of wisdom. And there are many
Perhaps.
claim to be very smart who are not wise enough to know that. I'll smile at her sweetly.
Well, when you are beaten to a blood pulp for speaking way too much, I guess you end up learning one thing or two. But, I mean, I'm not complaining, you see. It might perhaps seem such a thing, but I used to be more, happy about things, but I cannot sleep well, so there is that. So I seem a bit grumpy, and I apologize for that.
Apologies.
When food is involved, I am usually much happier also. But you see, I had a week with a very, very hard lack of pizza, and it kills me actually.
I had not eaten pizza until I come to this country.
I She looks around. You know what? We should eat pizza. Pizza makes everything better, and I bet you could sleep well if you ate pizza.
She wants to go get pizza.
Yes.
Yeah, let's go. My treat.
Okay.
He'll hop up.
She just asks for him to wait for a second while she goes after a tree, and from Tara she takes her boots and her leather jacket. Nobody knows why, but she keeps hiding her stuff her when she visits the sept. So she wears her boots and her leather jacket.
Okay then. Well, I'm at the age I do weird shit too. Okay. So yeah, he will take her to go get pizza. Unfortunately, I have to actually sleep out of game, so we're gonna have to end the scene there. But I hope you guys enjoyed it, and good night to all of you people. It's so late. Bye.